Here I am on a client's 80-acre piece of ground. It's in a decent area. It's in my home state of Wisconsin. Decent area, but it is not. This is not the trophy belt in Wisconsin, and this is not the trophy belt in Iowa, in Illinois, Missouri, Ohio, all this stuff. And it's a real world 80, surrounded on two sides by meat hunters, two sides on people who are managing deer. What can he realistically do here? We all want to manage for trophy bucks. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us do. Okay, is it realistic on a property like this? On a property like this, where you don't have full buy-in from all the neighbors, what you really want to focus on is what I realistically can do. Here, in my opinion, he realistically can manage for 3.5-year-old bucks. Now, he's got enough habitat here on the 80 acres. He's got a good swamp. He's got two neighbors that have bought in, two neighbors that don't. Is he going to lose deer? You darn right. He's going to lose all sorts of deer to the neighbors. He's also going to lose them to, frankly, dying from rut death. But it is quite possible on a piece of ground like this to go ahead and hold out for 3.5-year-old bucks and consistently do it. Now, are you going to tag out every single year? No. But it's a realistic goal. Some years you're even going to shoot a 4.5 or a 5.5-year-old buck. It may be once a lifetime, but it can happen. All right, so does it make any sense for him on this ground to manage for 4.5-year-old animals? Heck no, it doesn't. Because there aren't all sorts of 4.5-year-old animals around here. We're going to go ahead and set up this 80 so it has the best food, it has the best water, it has the best bedding, the best comfort, breeding opportunities, all that stuff. We are going to get deer to spend a disproportionate amount of time here. But we can't get them to live on 80 acres unless you put up a high fence. Okay, those deer are going to go over to the neighbors, the hard hunting neighbors that are both, in one case, they're managing for 3.5-year-old bucks. So that 3.5-year-old comes through that you pass, they're going to shoot him if they have the chance. The other neighbors, they're meat hunters. God love them. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely, positively nothing wrong with being a meat hunter in any way, shape, or form. That said, that 3.5-year-old buck goes over there, and you darn right they're going to shoot him as well. Managing for 4.5-year-old bucks in this situation is, you can do whatever you want, but that's probably asking a bit much. Now you take the same 80, you put it in a good area in Iowa where there's a surplus of 4.5-year-old bucks. You put it in a good area in Illinois, Missouri, Buffalo County, Wisconsin. These types of areas, southeastern Minnesota, there's areas of Michigan that are actually managed pretty tightly. There's areas of Pennsylvania that are managed pretty darn tightly. If you have a decent amount of 4.5-year-old bucks around to begin with, then managing for 4.5-year-old bucks, in my opinion, makes sense. All that said, it is 100% up to each one of you to decide for yourself what legal animals you want to ethically shoot yourself. And you know what attention you should pay to anybody who's telling you any different? Not a darn bit, because it's none of their darn business whatsoever. This is 100% your choice. All I'm trying to do is help paint what is realistic, what isn't. When it comes to managing deer, okay, we all, most of us, want to hunt 5.5, 6.5-year-old bucks. Guess what? That is not the real world in a lot of situations. Most situations, if you own an 80, even a 40, most situations you can manage for 3.5-year-olds if you want to. Unless you're talking 400, 500, 600 acres, managing for 4.5s though in a lot of areas just does not make a lot of sense. Okay, you can do it, but you're going to be frustrated an awful lot. That said, you take a 20, a 40, you put it in one of those money zones where there's a surplus of 4.5-year-old animals, game on. Ultimately, though, it's up to you to decide. No one else. My advice, shoot what makes you happy.